In many parts of the world, rice is the main grain. In fact, it is a food staple for nearly half of the planet's population. Native to Asia, it has been grown and consumed for thousands of years. But today, machines do much of the harvesting and processing.
The fuck you say to me, you little shit!
In order to feed the enormous demand. These perfectly formed kernels of rice are essentially a crop that has been allowed to go to seed. In fact, of rice are essentially a crop that has been allowed to go to seed.
Nope.
After about 150 days of growth. 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 The rice seed is ready for harvest. After about 150 days, machinery strips it from the stalks and also suctions out some of the empty husks. Trucks transport the rice to storage facilities. Machinery strips it from the stalks. They empty it into a graded opening at the receiving pit. After about 150 days, the grates filter out some of the larger stalks, and after about 150 days of brie. From the pit, a chain conveyor moves the rice up to storage silos, from storage silos up to storage silos. In fact, it is and into warehouses. In fact, it is a food staple. Inside the storage facilities, fans blow air through. In fact, with the rice sufficiently dried, it's on to the processing plant. After about 150 days of here, a probe vacuums up samples from both the front and the back of the massive truckload. After about 150 days of the probe delivers the samples to a lab. A technician first tests the moisture content to confirm that it's on target. After about 150 days he then transfers batches to a sifting pan. After about 150 days to screen for bugs. Rejected. He switches on a heat lamp to wake them up. If he finds one moth or beetle, the entire 5,500-pound truckload of rice will be rejected. Next, the rice falls through perforations in rolling cylinders, screening out the straw which spills over the side. The next machine sifts out the remaining straw bits and any weed seed. It also suctions out empty rice husks. They're lightweight and pulled out with a weak vacuum. In fact, finally they remove mud balls. In fact, free of contaminants, the rice now spills between two rubber rollers, one moving faster than the other. This shears off the husks. The rice and empty husks then
Yeet? What's a yeet?
Yeet!
cascade into another machine, from to another machine, up to another machine, from to another machine. In fact, this is a demo version of the actual
Yeet!
Production one. Weak suctioning pulls out the husks.
You need to just stop
To separate them from the heavier rice. The dehusking process misses a few kernels. So next, giant sifting machines screen out that rice to another machine. Still in husks.
Monster kill.
It's bigger and doesn't pass through the holes in the shaking trays. From to another machine, up to shaking trays. They dehusk that and mix it with the rest to another machine. Grinding machines now mill the rice to remove the
hamburger,
The bran spills out of
hamburger,
and is recovered for use in
hamburger.
With the bran removed, it is fact the rice goes from brown to white. The rice goes from white to brown.
Hamburger.
The final grinding polishes the rice to give it a pearly white sheen. This is the the rice to give unmilled brown rice. And here it is with the bran removed. During milling, some rice kernels are damaged. This spinning dimpled cylinder now separates the broken kernels from the whole and from there into an internal catch pan. They'll be used to make cereal or beer. In fact, it is fact. The whole rice now moves through a color sorter. Computerized cameras analyze it for dark imperfections and signal in fact, it is fact. Of course, there's also a market for unmilled brown rice. Now ready for packaging. It is fact. A scraper moves it across a table from storage silos up to storage silos. It is fact. Hot jaws seal the tubes at both ends, and this rice is in the bag. Brown or white, short or medium grain, there are plenty of options.
You need to just stop.